They don't have anyone to learn from. They don't live with brothers or sisters.
It's not culturally passed down, taught by parents or,
No, and I think everything is learnt from their environment.
What if I told you the most alien creatures on Earth might be trying to talk to us? And now, for the first time, AI actually understands them. For decades, researchers have been fascinated by the octopus, a creature so strange it feels like it came from another planet.
The octopus, having kind of completely engulfed the camera, you can see it in some of the footage. You can see the dial of the lights through it.
Unlike any other animal, its brain is spread throughout its arms, and its intelligence has baffled marine biologists for generations. But now, with the power of quantum AI, scientists claim to have finally cracked the code of its communication, and what the AI revealed is far more unsettling than anyone expected.
Some researchers believe that color change in the octopus may be like breathing or blinking for us, something it can choose to do, but also something that can happen involuntarily.
Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll see why some scientists believe the octopus might not just be the smartest creature in the ocean, but the first to send humanity a warning we can't afford to ignore. The octopus intelligence mystery. Let's start with something that will make your brain hurt in the best possible way. Octopuses are basically aliens living in our oceans. These incredible creatures have 8 arms, 3 hearts, and get this, their brains are completely different from ours. While we humans have one centralized brain, octopuses have a distributed nervous system with about 2/3 of their neurons actually located in their arms. Think about that for a second. Each arm can taste, touch, and even make decisions independently. It's like having 8 mini-brains working together. Scientists have been scratching their heads for decades, trying to understand how these creatures can be so incredibly smart with such a bizarre brain setup. But here's where it gets really wild. Recent studies have shown that octopuses communicate in ways we never imagined. They frequently communicate with each other in challenging displays that include posturing and changing color, with certain behavior patterns emerging that accompany different color-shifting displays. It's like they have a visual language written across their skin. Imagine if you could change your skin color to show your emotions, intentions, and thoughts instantly. That's essentially what octopuses do. They are walking, swimming mood rings with the intelligence to back it up. They solve puzzles, use tools, and some researchers swear they've seen octopuses showing what looks suspiciously like personality, and even humor. This brings us to the million-dollar question that's been haunting marine biologists and AI researchers alike. If octopuses are this smart and have such complex communication systems, what would happen if we could actually decode what they are saying? The quantum AI revolution. Now, let's talk about quantum AI, because this is where science fiction starts becoming science fact. Traditional computers work with bits that are either 0 or 1. But quantum computers, they work with quantum bits, or qubits, that can be 0, 1, or both at the same time. It's like having a coin that's spinning in the air. It's heads, tails, and everything in between until it lands. In early 2024, quantum computing and AI are 2 of the most rapidly moving and talked about areas of science and technology, and for good reason. This technology can process information in ways that would make your regular computer weep in frustration. But here's where things get really interesting. Researchers have been developing AI systems inspired by octopus intelligence. Octopus v2, developed by Nexa AI, is an advanced open-source language model with 2 billion parameters that represents a significant breakthrough in applying large language models for function calling, significantly reducing latency and enhancing accuracy for on-device applications. The crazy part? This model empowers an on-device system with 2 billion parameters to surpass the performance of GPT-4 in both accuracy and latency, and decrease the context length by 95%. That's like having a pocket-sized brain that thinks faster and more efficiently than some of the most advanced AI systems we've ever created. Scientists are not just randomly naming their AI after octopuses. They are actually studying how octopus brains work and trying to replicate that distributed intelligence in their quantum systems. It's like they are reverse engineering alien technology that's been swimming in our oceans all along. Decoding the impossible. So what happens when you combine quantum AI with octopus research? You get something that sounds like it belongs in a Hollywood thriller, but it's happening in labs right now. Researchers have been using advanced AI systems to analyze thousands of hours of octopus behavior. They are studying color changes, arm movements, body postures, and even the timing between different signals. It's like trying to crack a code that's written in colors, shapes, and movements instead of words. The breakthrough came when quantum AI systems started finding patterns that human researchers had completely missed. These are not just random color changes, they are structured, complex, and follow rules that suggest a sophisticated communication system. But here's where it gets spine-tingling. Some researchers are starting to wonder if octopuses might be trying to communicate concepts that are way more advanced than we initially thought. What if those color patterns are not just saying, "I'm angry," or "stay away"? What if they are discussing complex ideas about their environment, sharing knowledge, or even talking about us? Think about it from the octopus's perspective. These highly intelligent creatures have been watching humans destroy their ocean habitat for decades. They've seen plastic pollution, climate change, and overfishing devastate their world. What if they've been trying to warn us, and we just haven't been listening? The chilling implications. This is where our story takes a darker turn, and frankly, it should make all of us a little uncomfortable. If quantum AI can decode octopus communication, and if octopuses are as intelligent as we think they are, what kind of messages might we discover? Let's engage in some spine-chilling speculation here. What if octopuses have been observing human behavior and developing their own understanding of what we're doing to the planet? What if their color-changing conversations include discussions about the rapid changes in ocean chemistry, temperature, and ecosystem collapse? Some marine biologists have noted that octopus behavior has been changing in recent years. They are appearing in new locations, showing different hunting patterns. And some species seem to be adapting to environmental changes faster than scientists expected. Is this just a natural adaptation, or could it be something more coordinated? Here's a thought that might keep you awake at night. What if octopuses have been trying to warn us about environmental disasters before they happen? These creatures live in the ocean, the planet's largest and most sensitive ecosystem. They might be the ultimate early warning system, and we've been ignoring their messages because we couldn't understand the language. The truly chilling possibility is that if quantum AI can decode their communications, we might discover that octopuses have been discussing the decline of their world and ours in ways that are far more sophisticated than we ever imagined. What if they are not just reacting to changes, but actually predicting them? The warning signs. Now let's talk about what some researchers are calling the warning signs. Patterns in octopus behavior that seem to correlate with environmental events. There are reports, though still being verified, of octopuses changing their communication patterns before major environmental events. Some marine biologists have documented unusual color-changing behaviors preceding coral bleaching events, as well as unusual current changes and even underwater earthquakes. Is this just a coincidence? Maybe. But when you have creatures with distributed intelligence systems that are incredibly sensitive to environmental changes, suddenly the idea doesn't seem so far-fetched. The really unsettling part is what happens when quantum AI starts making these same connections. These systems can process vast amounts of data and find patterns that human brains simply can't detect. What if they discover that octopuses have been sending out environmental warnings that we should have been paying attention to all along. Some researchers are even speculating about whether octopuses might have developed a form of collective intelligence, sharing information across different populations in ways we don't understand. If that's true, and if quantum AI can tap into those communication networks, we might be looking at access to a global environmental monitoring system that's been operating right under our noses. The future of interspecies communication. Here's where science meets philosophy in the most mind-bending way possible. Quantum artificial intelligence is an interdisciplinary field that merges the power of quantum computing with the capabilities of AI, and it's opening doors we never even knew existed. Imagine a future where quantum AI doesn't just decode octopus communication, but enables real-time translation. Picture this: marine biologists wearing quantum-powered devices that can translate octopus color patterns into human language in real time. Suddenly, we are not just observing marine life, we are having conversations with it. But this technology would not stop with octopuses. Dolphins, whales, elephants, and countless other species with complex communication systems could potentially become our conversation partners. We might discover that intelligence takes forms we never imagined, and that other species have been trying to communicate with us for far longer than we realized. The implications are staggering. What if animals have been trying to warn us about environmental catastrophes? What if they have solutions to problems we're struggling with? What if they've been observing human behavior and have insights that could help us become better stewards of the planet? The dark possibilities. But let's not get too carried away with the wonder of it all, because there's a darker side to this story that we need to address. What if the messages we decode aren't warnings meant to help us? What if octopuses and other intelligent marine life have been discussing humans as a threat that needs to be dealt with? After all, from their perspective, we're the invasive species that's been destroying their world. Consider this scenario. Quantum AI successfully decodes octopus communication and discovers that these creatures have been coordinating responses to human activity, not just adapting to our impact, but actively planning ways to survive in a world where humans are the primary threat. This is not just science fiction speculation. We know that octopuses are problem solvers, tool users, and incredibly adaptable. If they are also capable of complex communication and possibly even collective planning, the dynamics between humans and marine life could be very different from what we assumed. The truly chilling possibility is that quantum AI might reveal that we are not the only intelligent species on this planet that's capable of long-term planning and coordinated action. And if other species see us as a threat to their survival, what does that mean for the future of human civilization? What the experts are saying. So what do the people working on this cutting-edge research actually think about these possibilities? Google Quantum AI is advancing the state-of-the-art in quantum computing and developing the hardware and software tools to operate beyond classical capabilities. And they are being surprisingly tight-lipped about some of their marine biology applications. Meanwhile, researchers working on the Octopus AI models are focused on the technical breakthroughs. In their forthcoming research, they aim to develop a training framework that accommodates additional data modalities such as audio and video, which could potentially include the complex visual languages of marine creatures. But here's what is interesting. Many researchers in this field are starting to talk about the ethical implications of their work. If we can decode animal communication, do we have a responsibility to listen to what they are saying? And if they are issuing warnings about environmental collapse, do we have an obligation to act on that information? Some scientists are even raising questions about consent. If animals are having private conversations, do we have the right to eavesdrop using quantum AI? These might sound like philosophical questions, but they are becoming very practical concerns as the technology advances. The most unsettling part is that some researchers admit they are not entirely sure they want to know what animals might be saying about humans. As one marine biologist put it off the record, "What if we discover that the entire ocean ecosystem has been discussing how to survive human activity? Are we prepared for that conversation?" The timeline and current developments. So, when might we actually see this technology become a reality? The timeline is shorter than you might think. Current quantum AI. AI systems are already processing complex pattern recognition tasks that would have been impossible just a few years ago. Research shows that on-device models with 2 billion parameters can already surpass GPT-4, performance in both accuracy and latency, while decreasing context length by 95%. Marine biology research is advancing rapidly, too. Scientists are documenting octopus communication with unprecedented detail, using high-speed cameras and advanced sensors to capture every color change and body movement. The convergence is happening faster than anyone expected. Some researchers predict that within the next 5 to 10 years, we could have working prototypes of quantum AI systems specifically designed for animal communication translation. But here's the kicker. Some of this research is already happening behind closed doors. Government agencies and private research institutions are investing massive amounts of money into understanding animal intelligence and communication. The public research we see might just be the tip of the iceberg. What we don't know is how much progress has already been made in classified research programs. Military applications of animal communication could be incredibly valuable for environmental monitoring, disaster prediction, and even national security. Preparing for the unthinkable. This brings us to the most important question of all. What if we're right about all of this? What if quantum AI successfully decodes octopus communication and discovers that these creatures have been issuing warnings about environmental catastrophe? What if marine life has been trying to tell us about problems we're only beginning to understand? The implications could reshape our entire relationship with the natural world. Environmental policy, conservation efforts, and climate science could all be revolutionized by access to information that animals have been collecting for millions of years. But we also need to prepare for more disturbing possibilities. What if the messages aren't warnings meant to help us, but discussions about how to survive human activity? What if we discover that intelligent animals see humans as an existential threat to life on Earth? These are not just philosophical questions anymore. As quantum AI technology advances, we might be forced to confront the reality that we are not the only intelligent species on this planet capable of complex thought, planning, and communication. The most unsettling possibility is that other species might be more intelligent than we assumed, and that they have been watching us far longer than we've been studying them. If that is true, the power dynamic between humans and the natural world could be very different from what we believe. The consciousness question. This brings us to perhaps the most uncomfortable question of all. What exactly is consciousness, and how do we know humans are the only species that has it? Traditional science has always assumed that human consciousness is unique, that we're the only species capable of self-awareness, complex reasoning, and abstract thought. But quantum AI research into octopus intelligence is challenging every single one of these assumptions. Here's what's keeping researchers awake at night. If octopuses can solve complex puzzles, use tools, show individual personalities, and communicate through sophisticated visual languages, what exactly makes human consciousness special? And if they are doing all of this with a completely different brain structure, what does that say about the nature of consciousness itself? Some quantum AI researchers are starting to propose something called distributed consciousness, the idea that consciousness doesn't have to exist in one centralized location like the human brain. What if consciousness can emerge from networks of simpler components working together? What if the octopus's distributed nervous system isn't just different from human consciousness, but if it's actually more advanced? Think about it from a quantum perspective. Human consciousness might be like a single powerful processor, while octopus consciousness could be like a quantum computer, processing multiple possibilities simultaneously through their distributed network of neurons. If that is true, they might be experiencing reality in ways that human brains simply cannot comprehend. But here's where it gets really unsettling. What if consciousness is not rare? What if it's everywhere, in forms we have never recognized? Quantum AI systems are starting to detect complex patterns in behavior across multiple species that suggest forms of awareness we never imagined. The possibility that's giving researchers nightmares is this. What if we discover that consciousness is common throughout the natural world, and that humans have been the only species arrogant enough to assume we were unique? What if every ecosystem is actually a conscious entity in its own right, and we've been disrupting billions of thinking, feeling systems without even realizing it? If quantum AI proves that consciousness exists in forms we never recognized, the ethical implications are staggering. Every environmental decision becomes a question of interacting with conscious entities that have their own experiences, preferences, and possibly even rights. The simulation hypothesis. All right, buckle up for this one, because we're about to dive into territory that's so mind-bending it sounds like science fiction. But quantum AI researchers are starting to take it seriously. What if the incredibly sophisticated communication and coordination we're seeing in marine life is not natural evolution at all? What if octopuses and other intelligent creatures are actually probes or monitoring systems from some other intelligence that's been studying Earth far longer than we realized? Before you dismiss this as crazy conspiracy thinking, consider the evidence. Octopuses have incredibly sophisticated camouflage abilities that seem almost technological. They can change not just their color, but their skin texture, their body shape, and even their behavior patterns to perfectly mimic other creatures or blend into their environment. That is not just evolution. That's like having built-in nanotechnology. Their distributed intelligence system is exactly the kind of design you'd expect from an advanced technological civilization. Instead of putting all the processing power in one vulnerable location like humans do, they've distributed it across multiple redundant systems. It's like they were designed by engineers who understood the principles of fault-tolerant computing. And here's the kicker. Octopuses have incredible problem-solving abilities and learning speed, but they live for only a few years and don't pass knowledge to their offspring. From an evolutionary perspective, that makes no sense. Why would natural selection create such intelligent creatures that can't build on previous generations' knowledge? But it makes perfect sense if they are monitoring systems. Each octopus could be downloading information from some central intelligence source, carrying out observation and data collection missions, and then uploading their findings before their short lifespan ends. The lack of generational knowledge transfer wouldn't be a bug. It would be a feature. Quantum AI researchers are finding patterns in octopus behavior that suggest they might be collecting very specific types of information about human activity and environmental changes. What if they are not just responding to these changes, but systematically documenting them for some other purpose? The truly chilling possibility is that quantum AI systems, in trying to decode octopus communication, might actually be hacking into an alien monitoring network that's been studying Earth for thousands of years. What if the warnings we're detecting aren't octopuses trying to help us, but reports being sent back to whatever intelligence deployed them? And if that's true, what does it mean that we're finally advanced enough to detect and decode their communications? Are we approaching some kind of technological threshold that triggers a response? Have we been under observation all along, and we're only now becoming aware of it? The scariest part is that quantum AI might be the key that unlocks this mystery. As our technology becomes sophisticated enough to understand octopus communication, we might discover that we've been living in a monitored environment all along, and the monitors have been reporting back to someone, or that's been very, very interested in human development. We now stand at the edge of a technological leap that could redefine intelligence, consciousness, and humanity's role in the universe. Quantum AI systems, many modeled after octopuses, are progressing so quickly that we may soon decode the hidden languages of creatures far more complex than we ever imagined. The possibilities range from hopeful visions of animals warning us about environmental dangers and guiding us toward better stewardship of Earth, to unsettling revelations of alien-like consciousness, hidden networks, or even species that view us as a threat. Whether awe-inspiring or terrifying, one truth is clear. This revolution will force us to confront profound questions about communication, awareness, and what it truly means to be human in a universe that may be teeming with other forms of intelligence. What do you think quantum AI will reveal about animal communication, planet-saving warnings, alien systems, or something even stranger? Share your theories below and subscribe for more mind-bending discoveries.